What's going on, YouTube people? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be testing another one of those popular tactics. Yes, you might be able to see on screen I have KNAP'S Mad as a Hatter. Now KNAP is one of the most popular tactic creators for Football Manager. He has so many different variations of his tactics that you cannot possibly test them all, and you just need word of mouth to see which one is the best. So I've decided I'm going to test one that looks absolutely crazy. I'm going to put it in the hands of 3 different teams to see just how it gets on. I'm also going to break it down in a bit more depth. I'm going to show you all of the instructions for the players, the in possession, in transition, out of possession, all of that kind of thing. And then I'm going to show you the results, of course, of the 3 teams. But before I get to that point, I need to ask you for a small favour. A few clicks on YouTube go a long way, so please don't forget to hit the like button, smash the subscribe as well. You do not want to miss out on any other good content that is on the channel. There is far more Football Manager content to come, and I would love to have you along for the ride as the content gets released onto the channel. Right then, let's get into the breakdown of this tactic. As I've said already, this is a KNAP tactic. KNAP is one of the most popular tactic makers out there. He has many variations of his tactics. For this one, if you want this exact tactic that you are looking at, there will be a link in the description down below where you can download it. All I'm going to call it at the moment is Mad as a Hatter KNAP VA4132. A few things to bear in mind also, it says here it was created for Match Engine 23.1. I'm going to be testing it on the latest version of Football Manager, and also I am running the 23-24 season update. So if you want instructions on how to do that, check out the channel. There is a video with a tutorial that take you through it step by step, and you can get your game with the 23-24 season to play right now. Okay then, let's break this tactic down then. Starting off at the back, you're going to have a sweeper keeper who is set to support. On the left, you've got an inverted wing back set to attack. 2 ball playing defenders who are set to defend. On the right hand side, an inverted wing back set to attack. In the middle, you'll have a defensive midfielder set to support. On the left, a winger set to attack. A shadow striker set to attack. And on the right hand side, a winger set to attack. And at the top of the pitch, you will have 2 advanced forwards, firstly on the left and secondly on the right. So it's set out as a 4-1-3-2 tactic. It's the Mad as a Hatter. Its tactical style is custom tiki-taka. Its mentality is very attacking. Its in possession will look like this. In transition will look like this. And its out of possession will look like this. So that's the tactic, that's the breakdown of all the positions: in possession, in transition, out of possession. If you need any of that, feel free to go back, pause the video. If you need to jot it down, feel free to do that. And once again, a reminder, there is a link in the description down below. So let's jump to the results and show you how this tactic will get on in the hands of the 3 different teams that I picked to test it with. Okay, I'm going to start off with the team that I used for the tactical breakdown, and that is Chelsea. We are in England, and looking at their competitions tab, we can see they have finished 5th in the Europa League. They've finished runners-up in the FA Cup, and they were knocked out in the 4th round by Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. If we have a little look at the FA Cup, they lost 4-1 to Liverpool in the final of that. And in the Premier League, if we break that down in just a little bit more detail, they played 38, won 27, drew 7, lost 8, had a goal difference of 52, and they had 76 points. So they finished a massive 17 points behind Manchester City, who won the league, and they finished 7 points behind Liverpool, who finished in 2nd place. Looking at some player stats, Lukaku scored 35 goals. He had a 7.74 average rating. Mason Mount got a 7.30. I did test this before he moved to Manchester United. Assists, Christopher Nkunku got 16. Lukaku got 11 Player of the Match awards. Reece James got 19 yellow cards. If we go into the stats, the team overview, have a little look there. So shots on target ratio, 3rd place with 40%. Most goals, 120 goals scored by Chelsea. Cross completion, 18% and third place. Headers won ratio, not inside the top 8. Best pass completion, not inside the top 8. Most possession, not inside the top 8. Most fouls though, 966, finishing nearly 300 more than the team in second place. How Birmingham have got into the Premier League, I am not sure, but that is what happens when you run updated databases. Tackles won ratio percentage, not in the top 8. Most clean sheets, not in the top 8. And fewest conceded, 24. If we go to the data hub and have a little look at their graphs, for team attacking, goals per game, 3.16. Non-penalty expected goals per 90, 2.62. Shots per game, 20.45. Shots on target ratio, 40.28. Dribbles per game, 11.47. Cross completion, 18.82. Pass completion ratio, 75.91. Fouls against per game, 16.34. If we go into the defending stats, we can see they had goals conceded per game, 1.79. Expected goals conceded, 1.91. Tackles attempted per game, 25.76. Tackles won ratio of 69.97%. Interceptions per game, 24.45. Blocks per game, 7.05. Clearances per game, 11.29. And fouls per game, 25.42. There's just one other thing that I do want to look at, and it's back in the Premier League. If we go to the stages and just have a little look at how mad this tactic is. So in the 38 games, Chelsea did indeed score 120 goals. They scored 10 against Notts Forest and Birmingham. As I said, the update for the new season can't predict the outcomes of every league correctly. So Birmingham somehow got themselves into the Premier League in the place of Luton, but they scored 10 goals against them. But they did concede 68, conceding 8 to Liverpool, 7 to Brentford and 6 to Manchester City, giving them a 52 goal difference. Means that it's absolutely mental that they will concede goals, but they absolutely blow teams away by scoring 120 in the Premier League. For the second team that I tested this tactic with, I've moved across to Portugal. I tested it with Braga, and we find them finishing in third in the Portuguese Premier League, where they have qualified for the Champions League. In the Europa League, they got through to the quarterfinals, where they were knocked out by a fellow Portuguese team in Porto. In the Portuguese Cup, they were knocked out in the semi-finals by Benfica. And in the Portuguese League Cup, they finished as runners-up. If we check out the final of that, they lost 5-3 in that final to Sporting. If we break down the Portuguese Premier League in a bit more detail, when we get the league table up, we find that they played 34, they won 20, drew 6, lost 8. They scored 101 goals, had a goal difference of 49, and they finished on 66 points. So that puts them 8 points behind Porto and 11 points behind Benfica. We find that Ruiz has top scored in the league with 25. He had the top average rating with 7.84. Horta got 15 assists and Gonzalez 14. Ruiz got 10 Player of the Match awards. They locked out the top 3 places in the Yellow Card Awards, and Marin got 14.64 kilometres covered per 90 minutes. If we look at some team overview stats, we start off with shots on target ratio, where they finished third. Most goals with 101, scoring nearly 30 more than Porto. They finished top of the cross completion list with 21%. In terms of headers won ratio, they don't feature there. Best pass completion, once again, not there. Most possession, you guessed it, not there. In terms of fouls made, they are top of the list by 200 fouls. Tackles won ratio percentage, not there. Most clean sheets, not in the top 8 there. And fewest goals conceded, not in that list either. If we go into the data hub and look at some of their stats, we can see goals per game, 2.97. Non-penalty expected goals, 2.44. Shots per game, 20.62. Shots on target ratio, 39.94. Dribbles per game, 8.88. Cross completion percentage, 21.09. Pass completion ratio, 76.55. Fouls against per game, 15.29. If we go into the team defending, conceded per game 1.53, expected goals against 1.73, tackles attempted 25.26, tackles won ratio 70.43, interceptions per game 22.91, blocks per game 8.24, clearances per game 11.26, and fouls made per game 22.24. So they have done really, really well in the Portuguese Premier League. They also finished as runners-up in the Portuguese League Cup. Once again, just to show you how crazy this tactic is, if we go to the stages and expand on that league table. So they scored 101 goals and they conceded 52 for a 49 goal difference. This tactic might just be the maddest tactic that KNAP'S ever made. To round out the test, we have moved to Spain, where we have tested the tactic with Athletic Bilbao, and we find them 4th place in the Spanish First Division. They got knocked out of the Spanish Cup in the semi-finals by Barcelona. If we go into La Liga, just to break it down a little bit further as to how they got on, they played 38, won 22, drew 4, lost 12, had a goal difference of 31, and they finished on 70 points. Now, Real Madrid did break the 100-point barrier, which meant they finished 31 points behind them. They also finished 12 points behind Barcelona, and they finished 16 points behind Atletico Madrid. Looking at the player stats, Villalibre got 24 goals. He got 7.46 average rating. Nico Williams with 13 assists. Vivian got 11 yellow cards. DeMarcos 15.46 kilometres covered per 90 minutes. If we look at the team overview for some stats, we find that they are top of the shots on target ratio with 43%. In terms of most goals, they finished 3rd with 94. They finished 2nd in the cross completion percentage with 20%. They finished 2nd in the headers won ratio with 55%. Best pass completion, not featured. Most possession, they finished 7th with 52%. They once again finished top of the fouls made list with 712. They didn't feature on the tackles won ratio percentage. Most clean sheets, not there either. And fewest goals conceded, not there either. In terms of the data hub, let's have a look at some stats for them. So, goals per game, 2.47. Non-penalty expected goals, 2.01. 16.76 shots per game. Shots on target ratio was 43.49. Dribbles per game, 12.82. Cross completion, 20.13. Pass completion ratio, 82.29. Fouls against per game, 15.32. If we go into the defending stats, conceded per game, 1.66. Expected goals against per game, 1.87. Tackles attempted per game, 25.92. Tackles won ratio, 72.39. Interceptions per game, 24.13. Blocks per game, 8. Clearances per game, 10.71. And fouls made per game, 18.74. So all in all, this tactic is a little bit crazy. If you have got attacking players that are going to score you goals, we have all 3 teams nearly at the 100 goal marker. Chelsea's 120 was exceptional. Athletic Bilbao getting 94 is a good achievement for them. But if you're going to go attacking, you're going to need to have good defences. None of the 3 teams that I tested on really had good defences, which is probably one of the reasons why none of them have won the league. But at least you know that if you're going to download and have a go at this tactic, you're going to have some fun. Right then, if you're still with me at this point of the video, firstly, once again, a small favour to ask of you. Please hit the like and subscribe button to help the channel out. I cannot stress enough how important it is to interact with the channel, to keep the content coming. It really has been a pleasure watching the channel grow across the past couple of months. Cannot thank you all enough that come and interact with the channel enough. Before you go, don't forget there are more things on the channel, such as other Let's Plays, Wonder Kids, hints, tips, tutorials, other tactic videos, a little bit of something for everybody here on the channel. But for this one, I'm going to finish it there. A big thank you for watching. I'll see you on another video very soon.